I'm a children's therapist and I work with children from the age of 3 years to 12 years old. I've seen all types of horror, physical abuse, trauma from car crashes, trauma from loss of parents, and more. One of the most common cases I have with children are nightmares. The parents bring their children to therapy because they've been having horrible nightmares. One of these are Sadie Nodds. She's a 7-year-old little girl who's recently been through the unthinkable. Her parents had a fight, and the father pulled out a gun and shot her mother dead and then turned it on himself. She comes from a wealthy family, so none of this ended up in the news, which I'm glad for. No child deserves such a thing to happen, and then for it to be broadcasted everywhere else for everyone else to see. She's been staying with her grandparents on her mother's side now, and she's been having horrible nightmares, none of which is about what happened to her. What happened to her is still most likely the cause of it. That's why she comes to me. I do therapy sessions with her to make the nightmares more bearable and less scary. Over time, we'll hopefully get to the point where the nightmares gradually disappear. However, for this, we're working slowly, one step at a time. Her family requested no medication, which is their choice. I personally think it would help her, but again, it's their choice. We have 2 sessions every month, one every 2 weeks. It's 21 minutes until she should be here. 10 minutes goes by and I get notified that they've arrived. I go out into the waiting room and call her in. It's just me and her. The grandparents only came in for the first session we ever did. So, has it gotten any better since last time? I ask, holding the door open for her. No, it's only gotten worse. She goes over to the chair and sits, taking the Rubik's Cube off the shelf to play with. Oh, really? I make sure to write it down. Not at all? She shakes her head no. Can you tell me how it got worse? I make sure to write every word down that she says. He keeps getting closer, even when my granny is in the room. Usually in her nightmares, the crawling man crawls towards her. He stops when her grandma runs in the room from her screaming. Can you maybe explain a little bit more for me, Sadie? She's halfway through completed the Rubik's Cube. He keeps coming closer, even when my granny's in the room. He didn't used to. She had tears forming in her eyes. I'm scared he'll make it all the way to me. He only stops halfway now. Even if he does make it to you, he can't hurt you. It's just a dream, and you know that, right, Sadie? I like to reassure her that it's not real and just a dream every chance I get. No. It is real. It's real. Why does no one listen to me? Nobody's listening to me. This wasn't unusual for her. She usually goes on and rant about how it's not just a dream and no one listens to her when she says it. I try to make her understand that I do listen, but she's wrong. It's not it's just a dream. But it doesn't work and it always ends up like this. Now, Sadie, I am listening to you. I always listen to you. I'd never not listen to you. I'm your friend and I'm only trying to help you, I said, trying to calm her down. Maybe we should just try some drawing. We hadn't tried that yet and I was planning on doing it today, and this is the perfect time. She sniffles and wipes her tears while I get a sketchbook out of my drawer. Here, I lay it on the table in front of her. Draw what you see in your dreams. I told you, no, they're not dreams. She takes the pencil and starts drawing. She's only 7, so the drawing isn't exactly awesome, but it's enough that I could tell what she was drawing. It was a man. The man had a bunch of legs, like a spider. He is crawling, she points to the legs, at me. That is a very good drawing, thank you. I think that maybe we should talk more about why you think this dream is real. If I can get to the bottom of why she thinks it's real, then maybe I could talk some logic into her. Because I've had dreams before. I know the difference. Trust me, I do. It doesn't seem like I'm going to get anything from her. We talked for around 23 more minutes and I ended our session. I honestly think that she would benefit with some kind of medication, but her grandparents are against it. They say she's too young. I decided to take the picture she drew home with me. I don't know why. I slept all night. I didn't even wake up once. This isn't unusual. I've never been the type to stay up late and I wake up early. I didn't have work today. It was Friday, my day off. I decided to spend the day in bed, going over some stuff I wrote with my patients. I ended up doing that for hours, only taking bathroom and food breaks. At 4 p.m, I decided to take a nap. I had a strange dream, or you could say, a nightmare. It's not uncommon with patients like Sadie that the longer I talk about their nightmares, the more often I have a few of my own. My nightmare went something like this. I woke up and there was something in the corner. At first I thought it was just clothes, but it started moving. It ended up being this man crawling towards me, and he had more than 4 legs. It honestly wasn't all that scary. I knew I was dreaming, and it never came all that close to me. My husband came home from work a couple of hours later. Me and my husband, Daniel, were lying in bed. I ended up dozing off and I woke up to the same nightmare as before. I kept having the nightmares and I swear in one, the thing got a little closer to me than the last time. It's been 2 weeks since my first nightmare, and I have an appointment with Sadie today. Sadie, have you been experiencing any nightmares since last time? We were sitting across from each other, as always. She looked skittish. She's messing with her hands and shaking her leg up and down. No, actually, not since. She cut herself off. Well, that's good. I think we're finally getting somewhere, don't you? I tried to get a smile out of her, but it didn't seem to be working. No. It stopped because it told me if I could get it to stop. She cut herself off again, sniffling. She seemed to be on the verge of tears. If what, Sadie? It's okay, you can tell me. I wanted her to know that she could tell me anything. I'm sorry. She got up before I could even say a word and walked out. Well, that wasn't weird at all. I later found out that Sadie had requested a therapist change and I would no longer be seeing her. I didn't understand why. I didn't think I'd done anything wrong. The nightmares didn't stop, instead they got worse. I've been taking some medicine, but nothing seems to help. The man is horrific. He has no eyes and no mouth, no nothing. His face has nothing, not even a mouth. I can hear the moans coming from him. But he has no mouth. The man only gets closer each time, and he's been getting so close that I have to shake my husband up. He stops moving, but I can still see him. My husband can't. I'm getting scared that he'll eventually keep moving even when my husband does wake up. I know that logically he cannot do anything to me since he's not real, but it's still so scary. Honestly, now I know why Sadie was so convinced it wasn't a dream. It's been 6 weeks and 4 days since I had my first nightmare. Now the man makes it all the way to the head of my bed. I started drinking and taking pills to make myself stay awake. I ended up running into Erica, Sadie's new therapist, at the bar that night. We talked for a bit and I told her about my nightmares, and to my surprise, she had something to say about it. I know I shouldn't say anything since everything's confidential, but Sadie told me that she made a deal of sorts with the man from the dream. A deal? What kind? That he could have you instead? What the fuck? She did what? She told me that the man doesn't stop crawling after 6 weeks and 5 days.